Welcome back to Daytime. I'm Amy Nay. Now, recently here at News 12, we've taken an in-depth look at the growing problem of suburban street gangs. But in Yonkers, one man is trying to help give kids some alternatives. Joining me now is London Reyes, the founder of AAA All-Stars, and you're really helping out. Welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. This has been a real joy, actually, to hear about what you're doing with a bunch of kids in Yonkers. Tell me about it.
Well, about almost 5 years ago, we started to get some of the kids that a lot of people deem as high maintenance, and they were looking for things to do. They were in the street hanging out, and we decided to try to focus on them and pay a little attention to them and see what would happen. And 4 years later, we have like close to 300 kids.
That's wonderful. And a lot of kids, how you've mentioned to me, have been given something to do that's exciting, that's fun to do, that gives you something you can challenge yourself and be proud of, and not have to feel like you need to look for another source, like maybe to join a gang or something.
Yeah, well, I grew up in the early 80s, and that was when hip-hop was just starting to become a popular thing. A lot of people deemed it as a fad, and in the hip-hop culture, it was really about expression. Some people use a spray can to express themselves, some people use a microphone.
Right.
Since I was a dancer, I used the dance floor, and we realized that ultimately, at the end of the day, hip-hop was a way to express yourself in a positive way, and somewhere down the line, we kind of lost that message. So when I moved to Yonkers 16 years ago, I began to promote what I feel is the true hip-hop culture, and to my surprise, kids just, it's like falling out of trees. They were just coming from everywhere.
They love it, and there's a reason why. You've actually used your dance background to help these kids, and you teach them a few good moves as well. Let's see some of it in action, actually. These are the AAA All-Stars performing at a recent event. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I work with the New York Knicks organization, and Nike ran into me at Orchard Beach. I was hosting a basketball tournament, and Nike has a professional basketball league called Nike Pro League, and they had a championship game, and they had asked us to come down and perform, and I thought that was a great opportunity for our kids to go out there, get a little exposure, perform in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah, not bad. And they look pretty good, actually. That looks like a lot of fun. This is stepping, in essence, right?
Yeah, well, we combine. We have a cheerleading program, we have a stepping program, we have a choir program, we have a basketball program, and we have so many things that we offer, because to me, it's really all one and the same. It's just about expression.
Any of the talents you have, you can develop them here. And I was asking if it was involved with high schools, but you take from all the local high schools there in Yonkers.
Yes, we deal with all 5 high schools. We also deal with the middle schools, and we're hoping that we can integrate our program within the educational structure here in Yonkers. And God bless Phil Amicone, because he's really been supportive. He's allowed us to get into the high schools. He's allowed us to keep this program afloat, and I think that we need more involvement from some of the other politicians, as well as some of the local business leaders as well.
Well, actually, we've seen a huge turnout. A lot of people are interested in this topic, and I think people are interested in how they can help. We saw a huge turnout at our recent News 12 town meeting on suburban street gangs. In fact, we're seeing some video of the meeting right here. You see we had police commissioners, community leaders, and a lot of local people who came out to see what's going on with this problem and what can we do to help.
Well, I think that, sometimes we get so fascinated by people who are in gangs, and we get mesmerized by that whole lifestyle and that whole culture, and sometimes we don't really, I think that we need to start looking at programs that are successful. We need to start mimicking those things that bring children out of this type of environment, and I think if we can sit down and have a conversation on that level, I think that you'll start to see progress. I think the YMCA, the PAL, Boys and Girls Clubs, those are all wonderful organizations, but today we're in a hip-hop nation. Hip-hop is a $1 trillion industry worldwide, and so I think that, what I do is I speak to the kids in the language that they understand, and sometimes, you have organizations that have been around for hundreds of years, and, their mission statement hasn't changed, and we have to change with time.
All right, well, it's wonderful to see the work that you're doing. And London, real quick, if there's something you'd say to somebody who may be watching, a kid out there who may be looking for something more in his life, what would you tell him? I
would say come down to our program. Most of our kids have been involved in our program for about 4 years, and I feel like we're doing something good. For us to get kids and not want to leave, I think that says something to the program and what we do, and we're hoping that any child that feels alone or feels insecure, has low self-esteem, come down and be a part of what we're doing, because what we're doing is creating history. All right, it's a beautiful thing, and you have hundreds of success stories. Thank you so much. Thank you. God London Reyes. And congratulations. AAA All-Stars. Oh, well, thank you. I think he's congratulating my little one. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. But we still have much more to come here on our show. Stay with us. Daytime continues.